to today's event. A wonderful event. In fact, the first public event we are having at the Bakul Library in 2 years since the pandemic started. And we had once planned another hybrid event like this, but it didn't work out because of rain. So today we have a wonderful public here, wonderful Sunday morning, and we also have a wonderful public out there on Instagram, on the SUTA handle, on the Bakul Foundation's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter handles. So a very warm welcome to all of you. So today we are here having this event because things have become better. Things have become easier. You can see that we are not wearing a mask right now, so we were wearing a mask a little while ago. But then, apart from that, the reason also is that we have SUTA here in town. So Sujata Biswas and Tanaya Biswas, the co-founders of SUTA, one of the leading brands in India. I won't tell more about it. All of you know about it. That is why you are here in the physical in this session or listening to it live. But I thought that just tell that when I got married to Suji, we also had a similar background, but it became Susu. But it's such a wonderful so the parents and create them predicting. So creates so and it's wonderful that we're having this debate because, as they say, all the stars align. Because earlier this week, Seema here approached me that, for my first ever modeling assignment. And she said, I want you to model, wear handloom banban. I said, wow, wonderful. So what I did was, I did this. But other than that, so thank you, Seema and Karin, for this wonderful banban. And not only that, actually, something interesting happened. Mr. Amar Patnaik, Honorable MP Rajya Sabha, many of you know, he was here also. He shot at the library wearing bandis again because he wants to advocate for handlooms in the parliament. So, if any of you, in the discussion between all of you and those of you who have questions, if there are pointers that you would like us to share with him, in his advocacy for handlooms and textiles in parliament, I think that would be a great outcome of this conversation. And we have, along with them, I have seen their journey from the beginning in a way. I do not follow saris, but it so happened that Taniya happened to be Suchi's, my wife's friend from college. So I used to see what a wonderful combination. Taniya was the founder, Sujata was the model, and we used to have the wonderful photos. And then, lo and behold, where have they traveled in such a short time? And we have a wonderful friend, Tanaya, here to engage them in conversation. So I leave it to Tanaya to engage them in conversation. After this conversation, you can ask questions to the audience. We can take questions from YouTube and Facebook as well, and Twitter also. Meanwhile, at the end of the program, if you feel like you can wander into the Cafe 16 if you've not, or into the Bakul Library if you've not. Thank you very much. Tanaya, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sajid. Very, very good morning to all of you. I'm so happy to be here in this lovely, beautiful Sunday morning at one of my favorite places, talking about one of my favorite things with Sujata and Taniya. So welcome to this conversation. Thank you so much. Hi. Hi everyone, hello. So, to be very honest, I've never shopped from SUTA. But I've of course heard of it, being a handloom lover. It must have come up sometime on my timeline or somewhere. And I thought the name SUTA is such a simple yet apt name, a perfect name for a sari brand, SUTA, because being from Odisha, we are not alien to the word SUTA, right? It means thread, and we've grown up around SUTA sarees or cotton sarees, and the climate being tropical here, everyone prefers to wear a SUTA saree. But then I got to know that SUTA is like a portmanteau of both your names. I was completely mind blown, like honestly, like SUTA, Sujata and Taniya. And it is like the heavens have conspired to bring you together to, start this and make this big. So yeah, that is something which really. I'll tell you something. Heaven has really conspired. Why? Is because people might think my father and mother has named me Sujata, but it's not true. I was named Preetha, and a person, my dad's staff, went to get my birth certificate, and Bola, I forget my name. So I was in standard one, my everything says Preetha, and he comes back with a birth certificate which has Sujata written. So my dad is like, maybe God wants you to be named Sujata. So there I am, I'm Sujata. That's what happened. That's too lazy. Or perhaps they were too lazy thinking that who will go and do all the documentation all over again. Great. So so you started your production in West Bengal. You have your store in Bombay. You headquartered in Bombay, but your heart is in Odisha. So tell us how does it feel to be back, and tell us something about your childhood memories in Odisha. Uh, I think say that clearly to both of us that Odisha feels home, and we have lived here the longest in India. If you say we have been in all lot of eastern part of the states, but Odisha, I think the people, culture, because we have grown up here, I think 10 years here it was? 16 years, okay. Yeah. That's a long time. That's a very long time. And in Odisha, we lived in Mancheshwar, then Bhubaneswar, and somehow that made sure because he loved the city so much that we study here, even though he has to travel all around. So your Odia is as fluent, both of you are as fluent as can be. So we even know how to read and write Odia, and if you don't listen to a Bengali, you think they're Odia. So, but I tell you, Odisha has such a deep connect with the way we have grown up. Our ethos, our beliefs, and a lot like people here. We eat santola, we eat pakhada. In our houses we also cook the same cuisine. And when I came down to Bhubaneswar, I landed, and I just I was just busy. I was saying, oh my god, this is home. So yeah, we studied in KB1, KB3, and DJM school, and then I did my engineering here at Taniya. So yeah, Odisha is given us everything, even understanding of sarees. We've seen our mom wearing and so many, right? Even if I start naming all the kinds of work that happens, all kind of handloom work that happens in Odisha, it never ends. So yeah, and people don't know about it, right? So for us, I think SUTA has to pay its homage to Odisha. We have to be here. So I want to know about two stories. So one is how did your love story with Sari start, and also how did Suta came into place because you guys were working. I think you were working for many years. And then you left your jobs and you wanted to be a photographer. You wanted to be a photographer. Yeah. So tell us about it. Our love for sari started with seeing our mothers, aunts, and all of us around because it just looks elegant on people, and the way you run around, tucking it on, doing all your chores, going out and working, coming back, and suddenly. In our generation, we feel that okay, saris are meant for occasions and saris are meant for going to stay in a cupboard in a certain section, and it will only come out when the day is right, the weather is right, everything is right. And hence we felt that sari should come back, and if not us, then who will do it, right? And when we were like really small, and we used to go back home to our grandparents' house. A nani or Dida and Thakuma used to call it, and they used to hang their saris in the yard and in summers, when the sari is soft and wet, we used to run around in the circles, and that the fabric that feels in your skin, the soft, warm feel of cotton, that's what we wanted to get back. And hence we made all these malmal wash saris and which has no starch, nothing. Yeah, and also, like how Tanya said that we wanted saris to be back in fashion, and also we wanted youngsters to realize how versatile sari is. For example, sari fits you even if you are any kind of shape. You lose a lot of weight, you put on a lot of weight. The sari will still be there and always be ready to make you look good, right? So that's one non-judgmental attire. So for us, sari.
Sujata, I want to know, the first weave, the first product of Suta must be very, very special and you must be remembering. So tell us how that happened. Who was the weaver and how did it happen? What was the design? What was the fabric? That first piece.
The first sari of Suta was the Malmal sari with just one color, and the second was with just three colors. The third one was just with two colors. So we are not designers, we are engineers, MBAs, and for us, we wanted to have the simplest of thing in best quality. And I remember the story when we went to the village and we were going from door to door. And in West Bengal, I think in Odisha also, weavers, how do they work is in their houses, it's like part of their life, right? They weave in their houses and they bring it back, they keep it in their houses and then they sell it to somebody, right? So we went to every house we're going to, and people were just not convinced. They say, "Why will I make this saree? It's for widows, हम लोग, we don't plain sarees we don't make." So we are like, no, we will buy it. And it was so difficult to convince that plain sarees can also be worn by people, young girls. And like, you will wear it. And we were like, yes, yes, we will wear it. You make it. And without stars that too. So yeah, first product was just a simple thing. And I remember only a lot of young girls started wearing those sarees, the Malbat sarees. If you see it, our second most big like, age group wise, it's 18 to 25. So young girls wear our sarees. So there's one customer sitting there who's young and who wears sarees. So she said a very beautiful thing. She said, when I got my first title as an intern, I bought a Suta sari with that. How many people do that? And thank you for that. It's really beautiful. And that's why even the name which you said is simple, and that's what we stick to always. We make simple products, which will become a part of your life and not stay in your cupboard forever. And you look for occasions. So yeah, that's Suta, and that was our first product. And first photo shoot was also Sujata with no hair in the photo because we wanted to save money and not give out the photo shoots to any outside agency because they charge a lot. And I love photography, so I said, you model, and she said, don't show my head, it should be only here. And one fine day, I shot full picture of Sujata, and I said, you look so good in pictures, let me try and post it. I somehow convinced her, she was convinced, and there's no looking back today.
Great. So that also shows how difficult it is when you're starting off, right? You have to moderate. If you can, you have to do everything by yourself.
Yeah. You end up doing everything, getting things. So our first employer also is Jaya. And I remember when we started, we had a small garage, and before that, of course, house. We all start from house. I think all entrepreneurs here who are sitting here would know we all start from homes. And then we moved to a garage, and Jaya would come in, she would pack, let's say, 4-5 orders a day, and then she would sleep in the office. There was no other work, she'd clean the office, sleep. And then after some time, order aaya, do order or aaya, so she'd pack and then she'd go. That's how we start, like, some journey.
So we just spoke about weavers. So there's something which I personally want to know when you talk to weavers. What exactly? Because we always talk about weavers when we're promoting handloom, right? So what exactly is it that a weaver wants, right? And how can this art, this skill be passed on to the next generation? Because a lot of weavers do not want their children to get into it. Because we all want our children to have good lives. And the life of a weaver is not so good. There's not enough money right now. So how can this change? And what exactly is it do they want? Do they love their jobs? Are they unhappy? And what can be done?
Tanaya, this is the loveliest question. I think everybody should know about this. What does a weaver want? So weaver is really, really talented, right? Everybody has a lot of skill set. And when we put them in the light that they don't have money, they need us, it's wrong. Actually, we need them because they will not be, if they don't work, imagine you repairing something which is just machine made, they just lose something that is so beautiful. More than, of course, not getting into global warming because that's another huge topic. But what do really weavers want is us to respect the fact that they know so much
And even if I go to them for work, let's say I'm going to give them work, I should first understand I am asking them to work and give me something that's so precious and not the other way around. I'm not going to dictate my things and tell them to do this and that's it because I know how to sell. That's not it. And second, I think they want this constant work. So when we started SUTA, that's why we quit, both of us. We decided even if we work with two weavers, we will give them 365 days of work. And it's difficult. And the weavers who we promised to give them work, we literally make sure even if the collection is a flop, even if things didn't work out, we give them work, irrespective of anything. And that's the only assurance they need. And they need nothing else. They want contribution in what they do. Their parts, you have to listen to them. Like when we make a sari, they will say that pink will look good. And if I say no, it will not look good with like a disrespectful tone, they don't like it. Imagine, right? So I think these two things very simple.
Like with all creative people.
Yeah. Uh, and also that when you said about the kids not going to different profession, uh, they love reading as a family and they want to learn it, but only they leave their jobs when they see that their parents are struggling and they are not able to get 365 days of work. In the communities where we work, we are seeing that kids learn it not as a means to get money, but they just do like cooking or like any other work. So it's ingrained in them because you see your parents do it in and out. Um, Here, all the students, all the kids actually, they all study in the schools, in the local schools, and we do a lot of work in the schools. For example, simple things like getting the fans fixed or getting their playground fixed, and planting trees maybe. We keep doing certain things so that the kids study fully and they enable their parents in going probably online, reaching out, emailing. During the COVID times, the kids actually reached out to us, and that was so beautiful. And I think we grew the maximum during COVID because of the viewers reaching out to us. Imagine them being online and talking over phone and WhatsApp. It was the kids, and they are into the business fully with full heart. It's us who need to understand that we need them and they're not needing us fully.
That's such a beautiful thought. Uh, Tell me, SUTA has a network of 16,000 viewers. I mean, honestly, the number is mind-boggling. 16,000. I mean, how can two of you sitting here do that? And how did it start? I mean, what does the 16,000 number mean? Do they all give sarees for SUTA or what is it?
It's not just the two of us, it's 150 of us in SUTA. But yeah, we are 150 of us. There's a huge, so more than us understanding design, we understand how a business should run. I think that has helped us grow SUTA. We have different departments handling their things. So we have experts in inventory, we have experts in creative, we have experts in operations. So there are people here who enable this process. And the 16,000 weavers, so I tell you, there are few weavers community, they only work when the sun is, it's not just weavers, but also craftsmen. So it's weavers and artisans. So, for example, if there are batik makers, right, they can only work when there's no rain. So for them, their work is very skilled, right? They are painters, they know how to remove the wax, they know how to put it, they know how to work with the silks, because it's not easy to work with very fine mulberry silk and not spoil it, right? So for them, these are very skilled workers, and they will only work during the summer, peak summers, right? They have the work through the best. So we have to make sure that time they have the maximum amount of work. The rest of the time, probably they're working with designs for us. They're experimenting inside the house. So there are these kind of people. Even the Kashmir, when we work with Pashmina, weavers. So there are 400 of them in Kashmir who are just working for the shawls, right? Of our scarves and shawls. So there are different pockets of different places of India, and you won't believe how vast it is. And for example, handloom sarees, since you wear them, and all of us here, right, who respect handloom and understand, there are few sarees which will take 2-3 months to be made. And then on top, if I get embroidery done, like we have almost 800-900, embroiders in one village. So those women would work on after the sarees are made, handloom sarees are made, and then they reach. So there's this surface after the work is done, then the techniques are there. So there's so many things and so many hands the sarees touch. The only thing is I feel in India we need to talk about the stories. A lot of people don't know the stories, and at SUTA we try to do that. We are storytellers. We talk a lot. Very talkative brand, and we want people to understand the magnitude of lives we touch with just one garment. Talking about storytelling, if you go through Suta's Instagram handle, it's like reading of Freddie Birdie or humans of New York or humans of Mumbai. So tell me, when we talk about meaningful fashion, it's very important to know the story behind the product, who is making it, where it is coming from, the whole process behind it. I think Suta very beautifully captures a lot of those thoughts in your posts. So, how do you plan your content? You've got like 500,000 followers on Instagram. So, do you think this is also worked for you? It's not like it's a yellow sari, say yellow sari DM for price. It's not, the descriptions are not like that. And like really creative and dreamy and magical. So initially we started doing it ourselves. Obviously, when we started, we would do it everything, writing the description to making people understand why we did what we did. But now we have a big team of people. So there is a creative team who works very close to the communications team, the content team. There's a marketing team figuring out what people really want to hear because we also take customer feedback. So it's a huge process that goes through and finally you see the outcome. But we want people to remember a sari with a story. I think then people will forget fast fashion. What's the difference between fast and slow? I think in slow there's a lot of story that is there and it's not told. Hence, we want to tell stories. And also, as you said, rightly said that yes, it has worked for us. A lot of people have bought the sari because they love the story and connected with the story. They come up to us and tell us that. We also want people to mindfully buy things, even though it's an oxymoron, right? Like I'm a business person. I want people to buy more and more because I so that I can give more work to the viewers. And here I'm saying be mindful, buy less, and even if you buy, wear it more. So it's a very difficult balance to attain, but we talk about what we feel is right. We don't stop. In Instagram, we constantly say that read about the product that you're buying, know what you're wearing, so that you use it mindfully and you respect the product more. And you definitely, I'm sure that in your cupboard, the products that you know better, you wear it better, right? So that's what we want to promote, and our community that we have built in the Instagram or social media world has helped us a lot. They are our brand ambassadors, and from the start when we started writing and involving people in SUTA as a community and not as customers only, that has made us bigger in the social media world. Great. So, in this world of fast fashion, when there is more awareness about sustainability, about mindful fashion, meaningful fashion, how does someone introduce slow fashion into their lives? Like for a young person, what would your advice? I think only difference with slow fashion is that you have to be more aware about what you're wearing. The moment you become more aware, you stop buying things that is just for trend and fad. Because my friend is wearing this stuff, let me also go buy quickly, even if it doesn't suit me. So that's where people go wrong. I think you cannot do away with our fashion. You would want to look a certain way. You would want to spend money on yourself and look good, but at the same time not doing it just for others. Then you go married, you go wild, and you fill your cupboard and throw things and then not respect it. I think that respect should come in, and hence I feel people knowing more about how weavers, understand the sari is made after such a long toil and love and sweat and blood is gone in. You would not do such a thing to a piece of garment. And I think that fashion needs to stop. I think it has to, with like policies or somehow it has to stop. I don't know how. Like I literally some days feel like if I start doing like a live, I would start begging people, but then we literally do, but then I think it has to come from within. And hence we try to tell our stories and our understanding of why we should also respect. Okay, buy fashion goods, but then at least wait for some time. Understand it is also like taking a lot of time. But the moment you throw it, where is it going to land up in? So, this brings me to the question. We previously spoke of global warming and also the adverse effects of fast fashion and the kind of things they do. The Suta Earth vision, the Suta Earth campaign was something so great. I'm going to ask you to tell them about it because creating awareness. A lot of people are doing. It has to be done, but engaging your consumers in the process, making them feel a part of it. Like again, like a part of the story. It's something so effectful and effective and so impactful. So please, if you could just elaborate on how did you think of this, and what's the response be?
So that is one of our favorite projects, and we didn't think that we would receive so much love and attention in that. So what we do is we take back sarees or any a single piece of garment, unstitched ones, anything. The material can be anything, and it doesn't have to be suta. We take it back from customers. We give them a coupon code so that they can use it to purchase anything they want, and um, we upcycle them. We mostly make bags out of it and ship sarees back to the customers in them. Even if that costs us a lot more than making bulk bags, but we are doing it and we constantly receive sarees from people. And some sarees are without any spot or tear or anything because people just don't want it and they are able to discard it in a right way and they know that we are going to use it. And bags, as we all know, that we keep them. We keep using it, right? So people don't throw it. We are also, I want to announce a very beautiful thing that we're going to do. It's not launched yet. It's called Relove. We are going to encourage people to resell the Suta saris on our platform. So, so it's a very good initiative. I think all brands should try to do that. Is selling what you have bought from us. So if let's say you bought a sari for 2,000 rupees, there is a way we are going to enable it via tech. Somebody will pick the sari up from you, pay you money for that sari, and it's not bad money. Okay, it's literally not like 100 rupees. I'm not paying you 100 for a 2,000 rupees sari. It will be somewhere around 800-900. Imagine. So getting money for that bag, and then some our customer base will buy your sari. So it's a beautiful thing. So it's not that you're going to want to just discard the sari. It's something like you're going to make space for something new to come in and just not pile things on top of each other.
Great, that's lovely. I think there's a huge market for recycled fashion. You could probably do it for could do it for any sari.
Yeah, there's a brand who we are tying up with. It's called Retail, and you must just put them up. So it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So your sarees are really popular, of course. So tell us some of the celebrities who love to wear your sarees.
We've been lucky really that celebrities wear Suta saris. I think one of the reason I would say is because we are very easy to deal with as a brand. And we have a lot of celebrity friends now who become celebrity friends because they simply coming to our stores and we deal with them in a very ethical way. Like we are very transparent in the way. We are very transparent in the way we pay our weavers. We are very transparent in the way we deal with our vendors. We are transparent in the way we deal with our, even the Bollywood world. That's a huge.
Do you pay them or they pay?
They pay us.
Great.
So far it's been that they pay us. When we started, we were in the garage. Then we were just sitting around. It's a story again. It's a beautiful story. Probably we are just stretching beyond our time, but then this will. So we were in the garage. We had just put our shutters on. A girl walks in, says, "They show me a Pinterest photo of mine, and they say Karan sir wants this look. This is me, and who's Karan sir? Like Karan Johar? Oh really?" And we were like, we were very tiny. Nobody knew us. Nobody, and we were in this busiest lane of Kalina where there were like mutton shops and vegetable vendors, and we had a tiny garage in there. And that was when we got the first order from Bollywood, and it was Karan Johar Tharma production. And that was one last story. So Kiara Bani Bona sarees. And when he got the first check, Tanya and me didn't. There was a 14,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees check. We didn't want to encash it. We thought we'll frame it and put it on our office and never encash it. But then we needed money. We needed money. We were so small. Like my God. And we got like we kept getting like Ali Kapoor production, Money Ratnam production, and after there was no endings. But for example, Netflix and Amazon started, Amazon Prime.
We just don't know who picks our sarees, and we actually spot them later because they don't tell us nowadays. They just come, pick it, and go, and we will see them later. It's beautiful to see, so especially serials, right? Serials are biggest because you know how the looks are, right? If a girl is wearing this look, they have to wear that look. So they'll keep continue picking sarees from Suta. For example, Bombay Begums, if you've seen, Pooja would look fabulous, right?
All Suta sarees.
Not all, but then so many of my
Yeah,
sarees.
most of them, yeah.
Most of them, and she looked gorgeous. But a lot of people, Vidya Balan, and we have seen gorgeous women adorn with Suta sarees. We also gift sarees to people during our occasions and stuff, and if they wear the tag as they come and Chama keeps wearing one sari for her, lives, and she wears Suta because Suta is very comfortable, right? And she is home. So people do repeats them and love it.
It's amazing you don't have to hire a brand ambassador.
Yeah,
We have so many organic ones. So I think Kiara looked beautiful in the last stories thing, and even I watched Bombay Begum's Pujama also looked really stunning. So how does your family? Because you're speaking to your dad, and he seems so proud, of, proud for both of you. So tell me, how's it been, your friends and family?
I'll tell you about the Love Stories event. So I was too excited when the movie came out. It's the first Bollywood, movie in which Suta was seen. So I was in the US with a lot of my family members, my in-laws, in fact, and they had a home theater. So I was very excited. I said, "Let's go watch Love Stories." It's Kiara is wearing Suta. And that was the last story actually, and we have to go through all the stories. And when Kiara comes in with all that acting about, and she was very smooth. I was very embarrassed initially. I was like, oh, okay, I'm making everyone see this movie, my in-laws especially, because I'm not so open with. I was not yet open with them, but. Everyone enjoyed it. They were praising, they're clapping, and Valley was broken. I was open with them. I could see all kinds of movies with them. So that was our first, Tanya's first experience with Fairy Law. That was the first trip she went there. And yeah, if you meet our father, you'll understand how proud he is and how much he talks about the both of us. And sometimes it's to the point that we are very embarrassed and hiding. I don't talk about us so much. That's how I think parents are, right? But initially they were very worried about us that we're quitting our corporate job, we're getting paid good salary. But I think we kept at it. They thought that we will probably come back. So then, अच्छा एक साल बाद ये job मिल जाएगा ना तुम लोग को ये लगता है. So they thought that we will come back. But then there was no looking back. I think my father joined SUTA and he meets our weavers. So he's in Odisha because one more reason, he's in Odisha because he's going to meet a lot of weavers and we have a lot of meetings lined up. So we would want to have our, I don't know why we didn't for the longest time, but we want to pay our homage to Odisha. We want to set up a warehouse, a store probably someday, and a factory for sure here.
Great. So my next question is very, very, very overdone. But you have a 3-year-old, you have a 1-year-old. How do you even do all this?
I mean, support system. Yeah, kids are back in Bombay. So I have a son and 3.5, 1.5. I think we wouldn't be able to do it without our family support. I think support system is very important. It's not just girls, but girls more so because we are the primary caregiver, right? When it comes to our kids. I think we have a wonderful support system. Our in-laws, especially, who just understand that we are going to leave our kids back and we would not meet them. So I've not met my mother-in-law. She lives very close to my house and I've not met her for almost a month, I think now. So sorry, I'm sure she's watching me. But that's how I think it's very important that our families understand what we do and they also buy in with the vision. Not just the family, but also the customers to understand some days we could be not on social media and not showing our faces and just be human. I think brands are becoming more human and humans are becoming more brand. And also, me and Sujata live together with our families. She's married to a Tamil guy, I'm married to a Marathi guy, and we all live together so that we can manage the family together and order grocery only once, just for one house, and manage the kids together. And our in-laws, parents, friends, everyone support us so much. Without them, I think Sudha won't be here.
That's amazing. Do you think when you started SUTA, or probably even before that, there's a shift in the way
the younger generation feels about sarees? And how do you think, more and more young girls can? I think once you start, you cannot stop, right? That's proven. So it's about the first step where you just wear a sari. Because the first time I wore a sari, it was a handloom sari. I just loved the way it felt, and felt, and just how confident I felt in it. It just hurts you. Yeah. So it was just so good. And I remember it was my farewell event in Delhi. And in Delhi, there was all sequins and there was so much of bling. And I was in 12th and I was feeling so unimpressed. But I was feeling so comfortable. And then there were so many people who asked me, what is this you're wearing? What is this? It was like a very old Sambad Group cut of my grandmother's. I think that was it for me. And I think I never looked back. So how do you think we can promote it better uh, amongst younger women?
I think there are more girls like these days. They are during the convocations or any festivals, they pick suta saris. We see groups of girls and wearing saris in the convocation and sending us pictures. We can ask Tanaya here why she picked suta in her from her first childhood also. For us, when we started SUTA, we wanted to target the age group of 25 to 35. We thought that should be our audience. We will think similarly because we were that age. But later we got to, slowly when we are progressing, we realized that 18 to 25 is a big target customer base, but it was not our target customer base, but they were buying. They became SUTA queens and I think also the fact that the way we promote saris is not a very quintessential way of saris. So Tanya wear boots. I mostly wear boots, but I have to attend the reception parties. I'm not today. But I wear shoes usually. My hairs are not kept well. Usually I like all over the place. I can wear I don't really like make sari an event. So I wear saris to mall. I have worn saris to pubs. So what I want to say is also the way you talk about saris, people take it that saris, people used to get scared, right? There was at one point I used to always feel saris should be worn in a proper way, right? A lot of times I had with a matching blouse, and a lot of people have come up to me and said, why are you wearing it in a clumsy way, But then, but the thing is, there is no way of wearing sari. If you see, even in India, there are different ways that saris are worn, right? And we should not. Put a label on this that we have to do it in a certain way. And I think SUTA changed that in some way. We have been doing that, and it's been 5.5 years, so we can say confidently that I see so many girls, young girls, boys too wearing saris. So it's just beautiful. I think we also would want sari to be gender fluid and not label it just for girls or women to wear saris. So by the way, our dad here, so he is a dad, and he also wore a sari a couple of times, and he looks absolutely stunning. And he is saying that he being a police for the longest time, saying that okay, so what happened? How it started was we were doing a shoot, and we needed a mom to also be there in the shoot. She said, "Oh, you didn't tell me before." And it was Navratri. We needed like 9 babies. So 9 days, yeah. So mom of the ninth one. So she said, "Oh, I'm not ready. Why didn't you tell me before? I'm tired. I have to take a nap." And we were, the setup was done, and mom. So we were like, "Hey, I don't know what to do." And I said, "What do you want? Do you want to drape a sari? Right? You can drape it on me." I said, "This is great." I think that's what Suda celebrates a lot, and we want people to come out from their, I want people to be in their own skin, not change who they are, and sari lets you be.
Sure. So I think I've taken up a lot of time to ask me all my questions, but we have a lovely audience. All of them who love handloom, would want to promote handloom, and are here today to listen to you, to get to know you better. So we can start with the questions. So thanks for a lovely talk, and both of you have always been very inspiring to our startups. So you mentioned when you got Karan Johar's check, and you had to break it, right? You wouldn't want to. So, what has been your journey overall in terms of managing your money and attracting investments?
Nice question. So I'm not sure how many of you know, but we are a bootstrap company, so we haven't taken any investment yet. And it's been a conscious call. How we manage our money to start with, we both put in. Sorry, it's a blessing. Okay, we both started with 3 lakhs each. Not initially, but we started 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs, and then we put 1 lakh, 1 lakh, and that's it. We put in SUTA. We've always churned the money. We wanted SUTA to be profitable since day one. So from day one, we kept our overheads very low. And absolutely low. Literally, like, I don't know, Jaya, how much salary did I give you? Nothing. Like, I gave her nothing literally. I felt like I used to feel so bad. And दीदी मेरा ड्रीम है ये, मैं यहाँ पे मेरा ड्रीम है कि मैं कलीना में एक ऐसा स्टार्टअप का काम करूँ जो अभी शुरू कर रहा है. Like, fine. So that's how we started. Jaya is a visionary. Anyway, so that's how we started. We started with 2 weavers, and that's how we kept our costs always in check, overheads in check. And regarding investors, also, how we make sure that the money is constantly growing is that we didn't focus on how we are increasing the money, or we didn't put a target to a revenue. There was a certain target, but it was not a aggressive one. We always made sure that our operations are right, our supply chain is working fine, there are no loopholes. We always used to check, reconcile everything without fail. I think that's how we kept everything in check. We made sure all the processes are in place. Investment wise, see, if I take in money, which is constantly coming, as in offers are coming, but I know I can grow bigger, faster, have stores in place, which is like a dream. But having said that, I don't want the way we work to change. How we work with people is quite different. Even if there are products that are defective, they take it from them because I know they can't do anything with it. Who do they reach out to with those products, right? They'll sit on it. We buy it. If I know that it's a genuine mistake, it's not, they're not doing it knowingly. So we always buy it. But the moment the investors come in, they will stop that. They would want to stop it. It's logical for businesses, right? So I think, and a lot of other things like paying the weavers on time, not delaying the payments, holding money and having a good cash flow is necessary for businesses. We sometimes have a very tight cash flow, right? But still, we don't delay payments. And the moment money comes in, or someone comes on my head, things will change. And hence, we are staying away from it as long as we can. I'm not saying no, but as long as we can, we'll stay with them. I'm just curious to know the product which is defective or just not perfect. No handmade thing is perfect, right? So do you think there's a market for people who want to buy that? Because it's not perfect and it's made by someone. So we talk about it. So we do it. What we do is, so we are going to have a section called SUTA Garage. But that's not for this product, but garage may be whatever defect. So even if they pull sarees from our rack, sometimes they get torn, right? So many mishaps happen for a business. I'm sure whoever has done business, even if we keep our sarees in a cupboard, कुछ ना कुछ तो हो जाता है ना, दाग लग गया, धूप में lines आ गए, so many things happen. For us also, managing inventory is a nightmare. So we are keeping a section for SUTA Garage, but whatever sari is defective, weavers make fresh out of the loop. We put it as one of a kind. We call them one of a kind. We write about it, and people buy them. And one of a kind moves fast, like this. So for us, even if one of a kind is 25,000 sari, the day we put it, the next day it's gone. So it's that fast moving because people love one of a kind things, right? And handloom products are one of a kind anyway. For us to make sure that we repeat the sari design because we are e-commerce player, that's very difficult. I'm sure Tarini heard the Seema here knows that that it's impossible to have the same design again and again repeat. And customer wants booty अगर मैंने थोड़ा बड़ा कर दिया, बड़ा क्यों हो गया? I hate that. Even if मेरा पैसा ज़्यादा चला गया उसमें. So it's very difficult to make people understand. But slowly, I think handloom covers, and people who understand mindfulness do appreciate that. But yeah, we are still far away. Someday we'll reach there.
Thanks for the beautiful conversation, actually. One question, I think you touched upon the sustainability bit. Like, you want to encourage, why you want the products to be bought, but you also want to encourage sustainability. Can you touch a bit on that? And the second piece was on the weavers, right? How are you enabling the weavers, and what do you see them becoming more financially free?
Uh, Sustainability is such a big word. It's like it's scary sometimes. As a businesswoman, we can't be sustainable, right? Because I'm generating more and more and more and more for whatever cause. But we are generating still. If I want to be sustainable, I would shut my shop and sit at home and follow all sustainable ways. But it's not possible. At SUTA, we follow practices that always is sustainable. From having offices that is well lit on its own, like sunlight is better and air passes properly, so that we don't have to put ACs on constantly. Hiring locally is one of the biggest step that we have taken, so that people can come on the cycles, walk down. I think whole of Kalina there is almost employed in SUTA. Ask anyone, they know us. There are a lot of other steps like SUTA Earth and Rela. There's steps at making the business sustainable and having a system that works perfectly. That's what we want. The second part is also about levers, right? The pay structure of levers, the way we work is. So our levers are on commission. So it's not a salary basis because if they just 60,000, imagine if I pay salary, I will not even know what's happening. So the way we employ levers, especially I think there's a beautiful story behind the levers family, not just the lever. Because I tell you, in levers, if anybody has, I'm sure she would have visited, a lot of people would have visited how a lever works. So the man of the house, the head of the house, the man usually leaves, right? And he would take the sari and give it to us. But the women, they are doing a lot of chores. They are also sitting, they are also managing the kids, they're cooking, feeding the people who are eating. And also they, in the end, the way they put, there are people put manma, you understand, right? So they also do that for different kind of work they do, but they don't have an account. So what we did is we made sure the women have accounts. We transfer the money to the women of the house also, and we have also made them, like, empowered them to understand what is money. Their task is broken down. So this is how we do it. And also, if everybody in the system understands what the value of the money is, the more they get powerful, right? They are empowered then. So yeah, we do like small steps, but it's very difficult to say things what you do, right? I think we have to keep telling. We all do in our own lives so many things, but I think sustainability as a whole is a lot of things. Fair wages, our us making sure that our sarees, our sarees are pre-washed. 90% of our sarees are pre-washed. So we wash our sarees in neem, tulsi. We put only plant-based detergent and plant-based conditioner. So these things you're not able to explain so many things, right? And every time, I think a business has to be sustainable at heart. You can't just want to show that, okay, my product is not polyester, it's cotton, it's sustainable. No, it doesn't work like that. Just because this last week, I know I can't ship it in always in a paper bag because bags will be charged. Customer will hit me, will not pay me money. I have to just pull your bag. But that doesn't mean that I will stop everything else. So there are a lot of practices I think everybody individually has to do to make the world sustainable.
Hi. So I actually have two questions in two very different spaces. The first one being that in the handmade space, right? We, in terms of price point, we swing between either too cheap or too expensive, right? But Suta has managed to crack the very sweet price point, and I bought your first few sarees which were entirely plain, right? And I'm huge fans of those. And but the point is that in the handmade space, the more you embellish in a handmade format, right, the more the prices increase. And fair wages, if you look at it from a labor cost perspective, like the actual circulars, those are not very applicable to the handmade space because they're for semi-skilled clerical kind of wages, right? And we get this question very often saying, hey, are you giving fair wages? I'm like, you how to calculate those fair wages, right? And yet kind of stick to the sweet price point. Because if you have somebody picking up a side art as part of that first cycle, right? It's because it's worth it, not just because it's expensive. You hear a story saying, yeah, I want to pick up a Prada bag, but it's a very different feeling when you go and pick up like a well-priced product that you're willing to wear every day, right? So I want to understand how do you manage to crack that sweet price point and what made you kind of go for that immediately? And then I'll come back to my next one.
Good question. We achieve sweet price because we are, so we work like businessmen, businesswomen.
Oh my God.
Gender parity again. Anyway, so we think business a lot. First, we think about the business, how much a customer is willing to pay. Then we price it. So it works backward, and also sometimes in how much is the cost, raw material cost, legal cost, and then we arrive at a price. We don't do just the margin increase and price our sarees. Sometimes there is literally zero margin in some products, and then sometimes there is huge margin in some products. That's how you balance it, and that's how we achieve like arrive at this price point. So that's one thing. Second also is that we also do a lot of management. So for management, I mean there are a lot of power loom weavers because they also like run machine, right? They're power loom and handloom weavers. We cannot stop working both. So what we do is our one sarees. You've never seen it there written handloom. We don't write it. It's made both in at both places. When it's made in handloom, I lose money. I know it. But then it's managed well. At least I will not say that you don't have work, he has no work. Same saree is woven both places. So I can never say, if I touch it also, I can't say which is made where. Unless obviously I see it properly, I can tell you which is hand, which is not. But then, so to manage it properly, to make sure that we're giving a lot of value for the things you buy, we make sure there are some products with a very, very low or no margin. Sometimes we sell at negative margins also, which is like a story, but then yeah. So I think that's how we achieve that. And also we focus a lot on designing. For example, we have Patachitra artists here, and they used to make full Patachitra sarees, right? It used to be very expensive, and we also thought that our customer base may not buy it as frequently, and so generating work for them would be difficult for me. So I made sure that they do very simple corner and do a bigger painting or a art form in the achal. We minimize the design, but still it's a Patachitra, right? At the end, it's beautiful. And hence we could bring down the costs, make it faster. If it was intricate peacocks, we made sure that they just do the outline, not do too much. So they got more work, more people had Patachitra, and we are happy, right? Everyone is happy. So that's how we work towards the designing also.
Sorry.
I answered your question.
Yes, I actually have an offshoot of the first question. Since you're saying that you have consumers who can't differentiate between the power loom and the handloom, but it's the same saree at the end of the day, are you noticing a longevity issue in the product where you feel like either or is faring worse or better? No, right? Okay.
That's absolutely not. And anyway, we are not claiming to be handloom. So we're not like saying that it's handloom and you're getting something else. We're not
But it's like a back-end perspective, right? Since you know which one's made by hand and which one's made by power, it's a very interesting data point, right? Because
yeah, but we don't. So when the sari gets packed, so the way the sari gets processed and when it's packed, there is no differentiation. So a lot can have a mix of anything, and hence we don't write. But when we write, we write. So we usually a section when a section called handloom, we find everything there. There's no way you can weave a sari which is this.
I was asking because I work in the sector, right? So I always get this big time because it's like, hey, this is something in the future that might kind of lead to like this guy's unemployment because power is going to take over the handling space, all of that, right?
I think it's
But for me, I'm on
the simple sari, yes. Like for sari, is just nothing there. Like no work, absolutely no work. It's just a plain weaving happening constantly, just like Khan. Then you will not be able to make out unless there's an embellishment or anything done on it.
Okay, last question. One of your previous interviews, you used the term practical passion. Okay, you said you have to be practically passionate. You can't just be passionate and be like fully like go all out with no like battery, right? And like from that perspective, your parents kind of questioning your steps was logical. So what's going to happen with your life with her Tanaya and NITR, right? So from that perspective, it's a slightly hard question, but when you started off, do you ever say this is the lowest I'm going to go? If I hit this point, I'm going to cut off. Like this is it. Because a lot of entrepreneurs don't, they're very like blindsided. They just kind of dug themselves too deep. So given that you use the term practical passion, I said, hey, they are realistic. They know what they're getting into. So was there like a bottom point?
Many times. So many times. I think nobody can say that I haven't gone through that phase. It's crazy how every day hits you. Sometimes it's a massive problem. Sometimes we can handle it because it's the package is small. But we have had like our 80% stock got burnt up in an exhibition. We have had like crazy days when we are unable in tears and we just didn't know the next day will get up from the bed or not. Days like that. COVID especially when we employees are looking at us and thinking,
Are they even giving us salary? Are we having a job? Are we doing any work tomorrow? It was that bad, and we was asking, Madam, आप मुझे काम दे रहे हो लेकिन मुझे पता है दिख तो नहीं रहा है आप कर क्या रहे हो? That because we were not missing 365 days of work and we didn't stop one day. But if let's say government didn't open up logistic election means we would have just hit literally like nothing. There was rock bottom में नहीं था उसके नीचे. I don't know where because there was tight cash flow, right? So we've seen that bad was dangerous. But having said that, being passionate is very good. But having like a IQ or like just like a general sense of when to get out is very important. You have to know when you have to leave and start something else or pivot the business completely, do something else. Like we do a lot of talking, right? We can also start like a place where we actually start coaching, for entrepreneurs. I'm saying we should know there has to be something else when everything goes wrong. Yeah, I was just talking about pivoting. Basically, when we started, we actually thought that we wanted to create a happy space where we are impacting the grassroots, people, and also having certain social impact. Because what we were doing in our corporate jobs, I was consulting. I didn't know who am I helping or am I just helping myself. So I think then when we started, we were thinking of doing. We started photography. We were doing weddings, pre-weddings, and etc. But we realized that it's not it because it takes a lot of effort and a big team. It was not for us. That's what we realized, and hence we pivoted from there to SUTA, and slowly it became what it is now. But 2014 to 2016, we were very passionate about doing this, but we didn't leave our jobs. We were doing it parallelly with our jobs because the earning should not stop. And the moment we realized that we can draw a minimum salary, which was 20,000 each, is when we quit. I think that's, with passion, you have to have that sense of when to start, when to quit.
So yeah, this is a bit of the that I have to do report. I'm quite a layman here because I've just got invited by a friend. So a lot of it might be uh, technical for me, but I'm just going to ask some question. Might seem stupid, but one, see, I think I'm not glad I'm here. When I'm returning to the state after a while, not here, and my connection to the sari is my mother used to serve the Central Reserve Police Force, and she and my father didn't get posted together for 18 long years. So when we used to, I grew up in boarding schools, right? And the only time you'd land up, even landing up together in a vacation, and the most important act of the day was when she'd wear the uniform, which was a sari, and she'd call me to line up the lining at the front. Okay, yeah. So that was one of the strongest connections between me and my mother. And I think when she passed away in 2007, to return to Puri, I think my strongest connection is also that feeling of a wardrobe. The fragrance came from the sari. So one thought I have is in our culture, it's such a strong place in our culture. I'm sitting here wearing a jeans, right? I want to see an American wear a sari. I don't know how, why we haven't got there. And even the men, I don't know the fabric, the little that I know, it's not happened the way, like I want to walk into a mall and have choices as a man to pick up something of a similar kind, right? Yeah. And whether you look at convenience, whether we look at it from that perspective. The other thing the other second question which I had was, I think we've had our, we've had our falling and tipping points during the pandemic. And I live in Gurgaon, and a lot of large societies, we've had people selling off their designer wear at prices, people reducing their wardrobes, people not thinking of the big fat Indian wedding any longer, right? There is a certain austere way of life which is coming in, right? And I grew up in a school where we would talk about a teacher who would wear a different sari every day of the year. You can never forget her. So I want to understand, is there a shift in the industry where when we look at clothing, is it about variety that you possess in the wardrobe? Or is there, can mankind move to, using less of the plant to use it time and again? So I don't know where I'm getting with this question, but I hope.
I think it's a very deep, good question. Um, yeah, sorry to hear about your mother. And I understand how much, like for me also, when my mom wears a certain kind of sari, there's a lot of nostalgia attached to it. So sari also feels like home for us, actually. Like you remember sari and you remember the event and so much around the things that have happened. A lot of story around sari. So to answer your question about people do wear saris or not, I've seen a lot of Americans, Europeans, Australians wear saris, SUTA saris. I've seen Japanese love SUTA saris. I've seen a lot of Japanese wearing saris. I think it's like you have to respect your own cultural clothes, and then now kimono sleeves have come in fashion, and suddenly it has happened, right? I think this also it will take time, but also for us also all Indians to understand. A lot of Indians just there was a time that I would hear people saying it with pride. Like, I don't know how to wear a sari. No, it's not a big deal, like it's not the best thing to say, and they would say it with a lot of pride. Like I've never worn a sari. It's a big thing that you only never worn a sari. And that's what I never heard out that when we actually wanted to quit and start Suta. But I've now started seeing that a lot of people are wearing saris, and people I meet, not just women, are wearing saris. And your question about men having more options. There are a lot of people doing a lot of work in this industry. It's taking time, but I know here Karan is a brand who's doing menswear. We got into menswear. Not in a big way. We just have a capsule collection, which is a super hit. Yes, Sujit is wearing her product, right? So I think there will be, but then of course, there's a lot of understanding of handling comes with it, maintenance comes with it. And also it is going to be expensive. People need to understand that you can't compare this with fast fashion. That's when I think it has to be. That is going to hit the deal. I think once taxes come on polyester, something happens there. Uh, More taxes on polyester. Otherwise, these kind of reforms, it doesn't come, then you will keep ending up having a cheaper t-shirt and another kurta which is kept for like 5,000. You will obviously go for that. That's what is, I think that is what is the most painful thing I think for all of us here. I think the fraternity wants to also, promoting saris in different parts of the world, we are trying really hard. We are focusing our energies in that segment too. But having said that, we have been working with a lot of different players. Like in Germany, they love the fabric that we wear and sari especially. So they asked us to weave these saris as than for them, and they took it and made beach wear like kaftans or on swimwear. So things are starting to change and happen because they also love handloom, and handloom there is very expensive. And I think with this we have to get in a lot of quality. That's what sometimes there's a lot of lack of awareness about quality. People think that that means a cheaper dye, so cost becomes less, but the moment it starts bleeding, this is not good, right? So a lot of people expect good things by paying less. That doesn't happen. So more awareness about it is required, and also simplifying designs is when we can crack it. I think somehow we answered the question. Probably we can chat after this maybe.
Just to take off from Vikram's last question about the culture of consumption. I know that sustainability is a big concern for you, and there's Suta Earth, and sustainability is a big concern for Bakul as well, and many people here. So I would like you to elaborate on your engagement with the issue of sustainability.
So personally, if you ask for personal life, so in simple things like dry and waste, like separating dry and waste, wet waste, doing your own little gardening, making your own bioenzymes so that you don't keep always buying. I'm not naming brands now, but then cleaners and phenyl and those things, chemicals. So I think everybody need to do that also, and it brings you very close to the understanding. Just trying to separate and understanding somebody else is doing it for you. It might land up somewhere where you are getting your greens from and you're actually getting toxic
toxins, chemicals ingested. So these are happening, right? So I think individually also in your life you have to start practicing, and it's a mindset. It has to start from home. Starting to train kids in school. There are people here who are from schools, right, representing schools. I think in schools also people are getting trained about sustainability. Very important, I think, here, I think I saw your books also, right? People are donating and the idea of donation, thrifting, we're exchanging clothes. Exchanging hands, yeah, pre-love, yeah. You have to go and understand pre-love. It's okay to exchange dresses. So I have a friend in the similar industry. She keeps messaging, okay, let's swap this dress. You take mine, whatever you like, I will take yours. So it's a good idea. I think you have to start accepting it. Initially, my mom would say, why would you buy, that old thing for my son, right? So I would say it's okay. To make people understand around you, in and around, I think it's very important. I've seen your furniture's all, I think, refurbished, right? So I think you guys have done a wonderful job, really. And also, while we are talking and yelling, to make more people hear you, you should start from home, right? So in our office also we do thrifting, where we ask everyone to get their old clothes or whatever they don't want to wear anymore and put a price tag. In the office we keep doing that. We did a by chance live on that day and people started asking, can we also come and buy? So I think that's where people are going towards that, towards shifting, exchanging, but also focusing and talking about it more as a brand will make people understand more because at home if I keep doing it and not talk about it, won't make sense. So as a brand also we keep talking about it even if it doesn't relate to selling at all.
A little conversation in Odia.
Yes, ଆମକୁ ବହୁତ ଭଲସେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଆସୁଛି ବାସ୍ ଫ୍ଲୁଏଣ୍ଟଲି କହିପାରୁଛୁ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଜି ଇନଷ୍ଟାଗ୍ରାମ ଲାଇଭ୍ ଚାଲିଛି ନା ତ ସେଇଟା ଆମେ ବେଶୀ କଥା କହିବୁ ବଟ୍ ହଁ ଆମେ ଡିସାଇଡ୍ କରିଛୁ ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ରାଇଟ୍ ଯେ ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କଥା ହବ ବଟ୍ ହେଇନି ବଟ୍ next question if anybody has a last question we can answer in Odia. We have the last one, the last question is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tanaya from NITR. This is something which I do not want to ask, but I want to share something. That for me, as long as I've seen SUTA stories, your posts, and everything, the one thing which I love about SUTA, apart from sarees and the products, is the term sustainability isn't just with regard to your products, it's your lifestyle. Suta's lifestyle, your lifestyle, everything revolves around sustainability. Be it in your work, office, home, everything. So this is something which I love. That sustainability is not just restricted to the products, but it runs in your veins and so does yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Just gave like a good feedback.
First of all, thanks for this wonderful conversation and for this beautiful insight into the way you all have channelized your inner energies and have had the confidence and the courage, being such young women, who have taken on this very difficult world of entrepreneurship. Let me tell you, Odisha is immensely proud of you, and you all are wonderful role models, absolutely wonderful role models for the next generation. ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ପଚାରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଦି ଭଉଣୀଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଏତେ ଜେଲିଂ ଏତେ ଲଭ୍ ୟା ସିକ୍ରେଟଟା କଣ କୁହ how was that how is it happening my daughter was just 11 so I told her I'm going to meet both of you and she said but siblings always fight so tell us your love and the silly sister love and some silly fights.
Both other question. Thank you. And जहाँ पे मैं कहीं अपन मन पहले वो डैड को पहुँचा तेरे सब तक पहुँची के नहीं because for the camera में कोई करना मैं बहुत पहुँच सकूँ. But yes, I think I agree. Difference in opinions हुए. Plus, we are sisters at the end of the day. Business तो decision नमक में पड़े. I think business रे our thought process vary. So it's
very easy for us to do business because we think alike. But having said that, simplest of things like chutney divide already. Money move basically coming of so it's not that simple things is what when we actually fight, but the bigger battles we actually face it like a team always. And mom को सबबड़े कौन दीजिए झगड़ा है ले immediately say the रात्रि you have to fight हाथ तो रे fight करेगी finish it. The next day you suffer and you was निजन ने बोली क्यों मैंने smile with as if nothing happened. And even business will follow that. Like there has been time. This is a secret. There's been time when there has been a live. And वो live on कर देगी almost. And Taniya has walked off. And I'm smiling in the camera and I'm calling Taniya like this. And you like, you can't just leave me now. And we start the live and we like because we have such an important role, right? Because we know there are so many people dependent and we have to go ahead. Immediately after live we forget. Like most of the days we forget, we have to keep paying. And I think it हमें सबोले देखो जी larger picture करो. अब वो सिली लाइफ तो चालू ही थी right? मैंने आचार सिटी के बेसिक खेलता हूँ. But that will keep happening. But I think being sisters, it has been really easy because we are stuck to each other. We can't leave each other. That's it. Thank you, Tanaya, for such beautiful questions and being such an amazing host. And her questions were so deep and so good. We have been in so many interviews, but this felt so warm and so amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you to both of you, Sue and Tar. It was lovely, lovely, lovely talking to you, and I think we had a wonderful audience.
Super amazing. Thank you so much.
So thank you again, Sujit and Bakul, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, everyone here and online. So, let me just end with one point. The one time when I have a problem with saris is when we have events and a girl decked up in a nice sari has to be the stereotype going and giving a bouquet. So we try to break it in our way. So maybe please give the plant to each of the speakers. Thank you. We call it a gift that grows. So thank you very much, everyone here and everywhere. And thank you, Tanaya. Thank you, Sue and Ta, for a wonderful conversation. Thank you very much.